Welcome back to the Raventape Drive-in, and I'm your host, Mr. Raventape. This is Serious Sam from the Serious Sam collection, otherwise known as Serious Sam First Encounter HD. I've enjoyed myself playing this for the while since I've started, really, because this was a game, like I've said in the past, that flew under the radar completely. Apart from these toads, I wanted to swear there, but we've got to keep it under the early minutes. These toads are starting to... Yeah, okay. Anyway. It's amazing to me. I looked into the other games. I haven't played them. I was just looking at screenshots and all that, and I was actually amazed that it doesn't travel the world, more or less. It's very centered in Egypt, which is actually surprising to me because you don't actually ever see that sort of thing. Man, I'm loving this laser gun for real. Like, there's probably something more powerful coming down the track, but this is kick-ass at the moment. I wonder if anybody can answer me this in the comments, but does Serious Sam get held up as one of the icons of FPS shooters because of like, say, Duke Nukem and Doom Guy and all that? Because to me it seems like you hear more about those two games more than said this one, really. Alright, we got the hint for that one. Another thing I've liked about the level design in this now is that this tends to be a little bit more puzzly. Not overly hard or anything like that, but it kind of guides you in the right way, if that makes sense. Like for example, that pit of spikes. The answer would be in the next room. Of course, I'm not expecting Tomb Raider level of puzzling, but still. It's nice to have a little variation in these sort of situations. And as you can see, I'm still trying to practice my bunny hop. I don't think I'm getting any good at it like I used to be. But 90s kids will probably remember bunny hopping through Doom, or like I said, Duke Nukem or something like that. The only thing I hope as I continue to play these games, Serious Sam 2 and 3 coming up soon, don't know when, but they will, that the AI gets a little bit more smarter, instead of just sort of like with levels where you have to hold out and just trying to hold them all off. I'm just hoping for a little bit more of a smarter technique from them. Of course, I've got 22 emails in the corner of my screen and refuse to answer them. Every time I seem to start this game, it analyzes every monster that I've already killed before. Again. Is that water? It looks like... oh no, it's concrete. Let's not go into the logistics of that. Now, I know in the last video I was kind of hard on the chain gun. I think they call it the chain gun in this. I know I was a little hard on it, but I've kind of got the idea that some weapons will work better with certain enemies than other weapons, which is good because that means that you have to kind of think on your feet, not one size fits all. I don't know if you can hear that behind me or not, but it's just started raining, so if that comes up in the audio anywhere, after I've edited it, of course, and everything, just excuse that, or even, hell, use it as atmosphere for the game. I just realized they sort of stand on chicken legs. You know, the funny thing is, those skeleton things that jump at you and throw those sort of bomby, like on a chain thing, I wouldn't know what the name of them would be called, but when the first few levels were around, they were probably the most difficult enemies because they would chase you, throw those things, even if they got you, they hit hard. But now it's like once you've got some more powerful weapons and stuff like that in your arsenal, they're annoying, not as annoying as the toads, but they are annoying to a degree of that they don't go down as easy. I find it interesting too that the laser gun takes electricity rounds. I know I shouldn't be looking too far into the realistic standpoints of these games, but because it feels like I'm splitting hairs, but it's just interesting how some of these things work. Like, for example, the Tommy gun never needs to be reloaded. It's got over 500 rounds in it right now, which makes me think of okay. Anyway, which makes me think of, like, I don't know if anybody's seen the anime, but of, is it Helsing? With Alucard with his handgun. Don't know if, I can't, it's been a minute since I've seen it, but I know in the mangas, he never reloads the gun, and the author of the series said that basically don't think too much about it. He's got one of those magic guns, which is always something I enjoy because it's like the creator acknowledging that something like this exists in the world of the creation, and yeah, it's not real, but don't think about it and just have some fun. Please tell me those toads don't make a return in 2 and 3. They're right up there with these guys who run around with bombs on their hands. Like, when you look at the selection of weapons in this game,
Hey!
I gotta admit they are...
Who turned out the lights?
I did. Deal with it. It's a very interesting collection of weapons. Like, they're what you expect in this sort of game, but the thing that stands out are the options of, like, having 2 6-shooters and the Chicago typewriter. Or the Tommy gun, as it's known. They're just common weapons that you never really see in games unless they're doing a set a set era. Like, look at the Mafia games. That's a good case in point. Now, that game leans more to the realism to a degree, but it's just always interesting to see just little nods here and there to those sort of weapons. Now, I'm probably looking too much into it, but it's kind of what I like. One thing I've noticed about this game that I really enjoy is the level design and the way it's been done, and the light effects and stuff like that. The shadows bouncing off the wall. It gives it a very interesting look. I should stop every now and then and have a look around these levels, but it's never been boring to the eye. It's always been very interesting. Now, I don't know how shooting palm trees makes the leaves fall off first, but like, this is just beautiful. Kind of gave the hint away there, but oh well. I'd like to know, compare this to the original release of it, if they gave that away originally. And if not, if it was something that they had to add in because people might have complained or whatever. Yeah, I'm sorry about the rain in the background if you can hear that. You know what their clumping or their hooves sound like to me? If you've ever seen that movie, Mighty Python, and the Holy Grail, that was it, yeah. Where they had the servants running behind them with the coconuts. Oh, come on, that last shot should have set him off at least too. If you've been following my last videos, you'll know I call these people... If you've been following my last video, you'll know that I call those monsters or enemies the choir boys. They just need to get in tune a little bit more. You know, almost forgot they gave it up in the beginning. Like, one thing I noticed, I think this was the last video or the video before it, that when they did a full night skybox and having the muzzle flash go off from the weapons, it looked beautiful. Cool. I applaud the developers of the HD version. I don't know if that was in the original. If it was, that's and brilliant touch. It's just those small things that I really enjoy. That was smart of me. Nope. I like how they eventually just give up and start running on the ground. Like, look at that sky with the sun setting and everything. That's beautiful. I should really stop gushing over this game, but it's just one of those things that I really enjoy. I think I missed a step here somewhere. That's why I'm heading back. Yeah, I thought I'd just get rid of all those emails. No. I guess I didn't miss a step. I guess I'm heading back. Okay. I think the technical term for the way the sky looks is a skybox. Or is that when the sky rotates with you? That might be old video game development. I can't think of like a better game to play if you just want to switch your brain off, really. Sometimes we need some story heavy games and other times we just need something to, well, shoot. I gotta admit, I love the fact that he's probably running around with this giant cannon under his arm. It just makes things very interesting. Nope, not heading back. Alright. Wait, it's open now. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I've picked up on the feeling that whenever the game throws a lot of ammunition and health at you and armor, something's about to go down. That's eerie. Without the music, that becomes very eerie. Yep, here we go. Of course, it's the fucking toads, isn't it? Always the fucking toads. Oh, now it decides to become a boss fight. Alright. This is ridiculous. I swear they're throwing more toads at me now than they were in the earlier parts of the game. And all quiet again. Oh, here we go again, the choir boys. Every time they get close, I have to look, see if they've got that symbol on their chest, which is the same one that Sam wears on his shirt. I swear they must have that design. Hey, chain explosion. Nice trophy earned. You know, I'd like to know more about what... I know I read the text crawl at the beginning of the game, but I'd like to know more about the enemy that I'm fighting. Once again, I'm probably wasting my time looking deep into it. Shit. But it just seems like they've got like a factory that makes all these monsters on a loop. Because they must be running low by now. Oh shit. Is that it? Oh. I like how you shoot it. I'm guessing the cannonball, and it still keeps on going, it doesn't stop. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're in for a scrum here.
Let's rock and roll.
Nope. Conveyor belt, that's what I was thinking of. They must have these monsters on a conveyor belt. I'm sorry, that's going back a few minutes, I think. It's how my brain works. I won't be able to pronounce a certain word or think of a word when I'm talking, so I'll substitute it for something else. But then the word will come back to me, and I have this instant urge to correct myself. So there's no misunderstandings, even though the point was made anyway, I think. You tell me. No. I finally confirmed it. I don't think it's on their chest. Samicide. Very clever. I feel like just staying quiet as the rain falls in the background, having some sort of like I guess ASMR feeling of the rain falling as you mow down multiple enemies. It's something, I don't know, odd, morbid maybe, I don't know, to it. Kind of reminds me of the old noir films from the 20s, 30s and 40s, the black and white ones. Whenever I think of them, I think of the ones that what's his name, Fritz Lang did. If you know of the name, you know one of his most famous movies would be Metropolis. But there are a lot of noir films done. They're actually worth, get a chance, go back and watching some of them. It's kind of weird, but the thought just jumped in my mind of how would you feel, leave a comment in the comment section, but how would you feel if I did an entire gameplay from start to finish as a whole video, or if you want me to, break it up into parts of picking a game that has maybe a heavy story or something like that, that isn't naturally in black and white, and convert it to a black and white film. Like, what games would jump to mind? And I'm not talking about LA Noire, because I know that has a black and white filter, but I'm talking about a game like see, something that would fit it. Evil Within 2 had a black and white filter too, didn't it? Like a cinematic view sort of thing. But I'm talking about more like Yakuza or something like that, or even Manhunt, or I don't know, something that would give a feeling that it deserves to be in black and white. Silent Hill 2 comes to mind, but then I wouldn't really want to screw with that game because, well, it is one of my favorite games, and yes, the consensus is that it is a masterpiece of Japanese horror, and rightly so. What about Scarface, The World Is Yours? Back on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. Would that work? I'm trying to think of games that are not too shrouded in darkness. You know what? One of the games that I think would work would be Metro. Metro would be an interesting one to look at, doing that. Maybe just for like a one-off Thursday or something like that. Nothing too serious. Just something interesting to play with. You know, and of course, if you wanted a full series of it, I'd happily do it. But yeah. I love how he just puts the gun into his prison pocket. Doesn't think about it whatsoever. like that. Another thing I've noticed in this game itself, as I've gone along with the levels, they seem to get a bit longer now. I don't know if that's to extend the gameplay experience or what, but I've noticed them getting a little longer. Not that I'm complaining, I'm actually enjoying myself playing this game. Just switching off the brain for an hour or so doesn't hurt. But now it's like, I'm instantly thinking about what could I turn into black and white to make it, give it a better cinematic feel to it. But yeah, weird how you think of these things. I gotta admit, I love how when the enemies scatter, well, not scatter, but once you kill them, body parts hit the ground, even though they'll eventually fade away, it sort of gives you an idea of the carnage that you're leaving behind. Hang on, what was that? Okay, I sort of get that and sort of don't. It's like, what was it, that scene in Fight Club when Brad Pitt's getting his head knocked off in that basement? The guy goes, "Do you understand me now?" And he goes, yeah. No, I forgot it. That's how I feel sometimes. You can tell me something, I go, yeah, totally remember. Then 2 seconds later, I'll forget it. Another one that comes to mind would be, I'm still on the subject of the black and white film. Another one that comes to mind would be the Metal Gear Solid series, but that might be too much of an obvious choice. No, in my opinion anyway. I think I'm a little lost. No, hang on. Oh, no. This is a new area. I think we're heading the right way now. Another thing comes to mind is that each time I see that character with 4 arms, I think of Goro from Mortal Kombat, which makes me think of the film that's coming out later this year. I think it's going to be kick-ass. The trailer looks good, but I'm trying not to get my hopes up for it. Trying. What? Where? Oh, there you are. Yep, that'll do him. Another thing that comes to mind is that eventually I've got other things lined up as I finish games that I'll be following up with them, but I'm trying to, I kind of get the idea, I guess with the first 3 games I picked, either within Splatterhouse and Serious Sam, you kind of get the idea that I like violence and gore and all of that. So maybe with the next few games that I pick to follow through these series will be, I wouldn't say different, but I just want to show that there is a variety to my taste. I don't want to be painted in one corner, I guess. No one wants to be painted in the corner. No one puts baby in the corner. One thing that's crossed my mind for the past few days is the idea of taking on a big RPG, like say Final Fantasy or Star Ocean. But I wouldn't know how to tackle something like that big. I guess it'd be like the same like I've been doing right now, but the idea of taking on something so big and the potential of missing things that people would probably want to see would suck, because as a viewer I know that when people miss out on certain parts, it could be just the fact that they didn't know about it at the time and just went right by it. And I know trying to start a new game and going back just to see one thing would not be worth the time whatsoever. But it just, you know, those sort of games, it's so big. You're taking on a lot. But who knows, I might actually just do a guerrilla upload and start a new series that may, a big RPG series that may, you know, reappear every now and then, maybe once a month or something. That might be an idea. And don't worry, for those who have seen, I think it was it the last video, Serious Sam video, or was it the Splatterhouse one? I kind of can't remember. But I did mention that I was doing something for Halloween, like a feature presentation sort of thing, playing a game from start to finish, complete with an intermission in the middle. Don't worry, that is still on the cards. I have the game lined up and ready to go. I just have to find the time now to sit down and play it from start to finish in one recording. I guess I could take on the Yakuza series. It's got RPG elements, and they're not typically long, unless you do all the side missions, which I'd probably end up doing because I actually genuinely love that series. But if I was going to do that, it'd be like I said, once a month they would be uploaded, keeping routine with Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, with Thursday being a bonus if I've got time. I know 7 was getting a lot of love, and I've got a copy of 7, but I still haven't played it. And that should be a shame on me. I should have played it by now, but I don't know how I feel about leaving Kiryu behind. Been with him so long that with a new main character now, it just, I don't know. It feels odd. Really odd. If I ever get the chance to borrow my friend's Xbox One, there's one game that they own that I've always had it's always drawn my eye, but I've never had the interest, well, not the interest, but I've had interest in it, but I guess something's held me back from playing it. Now thinking about it, I kind of want to add it to the channel, which is Recall. It was an Xbox One exclusive. I think the only reason my friend picked it up was basically so they could get a free copy of Banjo-Kazooie. I think that was what was bundled. Because they bought it day one, they got a code that you could get. I think it was Banjo-Kazooie. I don't remember if it was that one or it was the nuts and bolts version, where you had to build a racing car and race around a track, which Nintendo 64 kid just doesn't fit the character. Can anybody answer me this question in the comments? Was it not Banjo-Kazooie, but I know that was released on the Xbox One, but was the sequel ever released or not? Because I know that cartridge can get a high price on the second-hand market. Now thinking about it, I should really dig up my old Nintendo 64. See if I can find a way to record it too. I've got some old games on that. Obviously the first one I'd probably go back and play is the GoldenEye, of course. The father of modern day FPSs. I know it got leaked online, the original rare Xbox Live build, and it looks great, but unfortunately what they require to play it, I don't exactly have at the moment. Which, in other words, I don't have a powerful enough PC to do it. I can barely record these videos. But hey, It'd be an interesting comparison. No. You know, one I would like to go back is play Donkey Kong 64. I don't think that game got a lot of love when it came out. Should really look into that. Oh, now they're okay. The new variation of them remind me of Pinky. Now that's just unfair. Full of bull. I can't see why not. I'm just thinking about how I'd probably do it. As most of you would know with video game recording, because I'm playing on a console, I have to go through an Elgato. So a lot of things that are still analog, I have to buy another connection for it, or converter really, just to run it through the Elgato again. So it'll be a test in itself to see what I can come up with. Watch this space. I'll try and do something, even if it's just a test video. I'll try and post it to see what you all think of it. E.T. calling home? That's all he needed to call home with, not his finger. My instincts tell me that's going to... In that ship, it houses the final boss. That's what my instincts tell me anyway. But knowing my luck, I've just ruined it for myself. I don't know why I was just doing that. Occasionally you just gotta let a couple shots out here and there. You never know if it'll work or not. Gotta try everything. Don't know what I just picked up. Okay, here we go.
for a battle.
Always. Interesting setup. Nothing much going on, is there? I guess I haven't hit that trigger yet. So if those of you don't know about programming video games, and I'm the last person that really asks these questions, or even tell you the answers, you'd probably be better off talking to a developer. But from what I understand is games sometimes run on triggers. You have to maybe walk into a room, collect a certain item, or something like that, and it looks like just hit the trigger there to set off whatever's going to happen next. For you, yes, for those of you, yes, I am a part of the Salt and Sanctuary community on PlayStation. Yes, I love that game, and I probably will do a one-off Thursday about it. I should be really concentrating about what I'm doing right now, but it's amazing. I just let my mind wander, and whatever comes out, comes out. So I think I'm looking for these key things. They're somewhere. Oh, I'm not. No. I think. Yeah, take that lamp. Ah, 3 more to go. Right, so we are collecting those things and dropping them off there. How long did that take me to realise that? It's a weird mix, isn't it? When you hear those things running behind you, and you've got a choir boy running at you too. It sort of mixes together to make it sound like something entirely different. It's one thing that should be like noted that one thing that should be noted is that this game really does like throwing its enemies at you and sort of drowning you in it. I still get flashbacks of that alleyway of the I think it was in the last one. Got stuck in an alleyway, and it was just piles of them. They just wouldn't stop coming. Alright, so I'm guessing the other one will be spawning on the other side now. Sort of a back and forth situation. Goro and his green balls. I wish he would stop throwing them at me. I think he's overcompensating for something. God damn, it must have been their turn in the spawn. Or it just happened to be everywhere now. One more to go. One more. I don't know why I didn't switch to this earlier. I think I was trying to hold out hope that the chain gun had some more punch to it. Obviously not, but, you know, you live in hope, don't you? Here comes chicken legs. Yeah, I must be looking for the last key because they're throwing everything at me now. I still don't have it. Why, all items placed. Good. Now we can get out of here. And I'm taking you with me. And with that, we come to another intermission. I hope you enjoyed yourself like I've enjoyed myself. And on to the next showing. Good night.